Got a couple of questions here for today. The first one is that God has, I'll read it and I'll make it a bit briefer. God used bad things in the past to bring about his purposes. Think of Joseph in Egypt. Think of the capture of the Israelites. Even, for example, think of Christ on the cross. The question, do you think God is using this virus to bring about his purposes? Because when it's all over the world, we will be looking for a saviour. I think absolutely yes. God is always using everything to bring about his purposes. So either salvation or judgment. God's always working for both. So the same event in world history, some lean to salvation and some lead to judgment as their hard-heartedness is exposed. So yes, absolutely, God is using this for his purposes, to remind us that we're mortal, to show us that we're not in control of everything, to show us that we need a saviour. But unfortunately, I don't think it necessarily means that a lot of people will turn to him. Some will. And particularly if we can show them our joy, our confidence, our hope, and also serve them with love and grace. But I think there's also many people who will look to man, like we're already looking to man. We will control everything. We'll shut down the country. We'll find a vaccine. We don't necessarily find a vaccine. It might not happen. So yeah, I do think God is using this, but I don't think necessarily we can predict which way it will go. A second question, in Matthew chapter 28, verse 17, it says that when the disciples went to Galilee to see Jesus, some worshipped him. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them doubted. What does it mean by that doubting? Was it referring to Thomas or something else? And in the short answer is that the word that's translated doubted isn't the normal word for doubted. There's another word for doubting, and it can mean doubting, but it also means hesitation, just like just that pause. So you're not sure what to do, that double take, that wait, what? And it's possible, I think, the way I understand it, at least anyway, is that the disciples had been in Jerusalem with Jesus. They left and travelled, and then Jesus was there before them. And they're still getting used to who Jesus is, that he is not just an ordinary human being. And so there's some astonishment, there's some amazement, there's just a pause, a what? That some worship immediately, the others are like still kind of like amazed and unsure what's going on, and it takes them a little while to work it out. It's just a hesitation. I think that's the way I think it should perhaps be best translated and understood. Not a doubt like, oh, I don't think he's God, or I don't think it's really Jesus, but a hesitation. How can this be? This is amazing. That's the best way to understand it. Keep your questions coming. Just email them in. Happy to answer any questions you've got. God bless.